On the News Hour tonight, I'm joined from Copenhagen by Kim Davey. Kim Davey, thank you very much. Peter Bleach will be joining us from the UK in some time. Deepak Praladka is a well-known legal activist, has been following the story. Udayan Nambudri, senior journalist, is an expert on this subject. Jayadev Ranade is former additional secretary of RAW. Joginder Singh is former director of CBI. US Mishra is former CBI director. Thank you all very much, gentlemen, for joining me tonight. Kim Davey, you think the CBI contributed to your being let off today?
Well, in the late 90s, the Danish government requested CBI to bring the evidence to Denmark so that I could be prosecuted in Denmark. The CBI refused to hand over the evidence. Since then, you could say that the extradition case that has been going on now for 14 months in Denmark has been marred by expired documents, lack of answer to relevant questions from the Danish prosecutor. So I'm sitting here with the feeling that maybe they were not really interested in winning this case.
Joginder Singh, you put the facts together and that's the conclusion anybody will come to. CBI botched up the paperwork. It carried an expired warrant to Copenhagen. It did not request the court to cross-examine Kim Davey, Peter Bleach, Peter Heistrup or any of the key witnesses in the court. Is this a way in which the CBI handles a case like Purulia?
No, I don't think. CBI was not representing itself in the court. It was being represented by the Danish government. It was up to the Danish prosecutor to say, look, we want X, Y, Z items which you have not got it here. So you cannot even investigate a case abroad. You cannot even represent yourself as a legal counsel in a case abroad. It is the local government which does it for you. So it is not a question of botching up.
Mr. Joginder Singh,
it is a question of whatever they wanted was taken to them.
Mr. Joginder Singh, that really, with all respect to you, is really a poor excuse. Because from what I know, let me get...
No, it's not. This is a statement of fact, Mr. Goswami.
No, sir.
This is a statement of fact here.
Sir, let me tell you the statement of fact. The statement of fact, Mr. Joginder Singh and Jayadev Ranade, I want your comment on this, is despite having 16 years to investigate this case, the CBI did not provide any single new piece of evidence to overturn the Denmark lower court's order against the extradition. That is the statement of fact, Mr. Joginder Singh. Let me draw in Jayadev Ranade. Am I wrong, Mr. Ranade?
No, you want Mr. Ranade answer or my answer?
From what I've read, it seems to be the case, and it does indicate a lack of preparation, lack of marshalling the facts, especially when we are fighting a case abroad.
And why has this been allowed to happen?
I don't.
1 minute. Let's get all the participants in, Mr. Joginder Singh. 1 minute. Did the CBI team, Udayan, provide a single witness of its own to support a demand for extradition? Udayan.
Look, Arnab, let us be clear on one thing. This case was fought on a very narrow point. The human rights situation in India and the credibility of the diplomatic assurances given by the government of India. And here it was up to the CBI to puncture some stereotypes which the Danish judicial system holds about India. And to this end, it was the duty of the CBI to come up with firm evidence that the jail system in India is not as bad as Guantanamo Bay, or that arrangements for Kim Davey wouldn't be as hellish as they imagined. But unfortunately, the CBI went to this appeal stage with only some publicity brochures of the West Bengal Jail Department, whereas they were asked for photographs.
Well, I quite get the point there.
Did you get that?
I quite got the point there. I heard you loud and clear. Deepak Praladka, Deepak Praladka, my question to you is it also true that the CBI went around the entire world looking for the man who's there on our channel tonight, Kim Devi, despite having hard evidence that Kim Devi is sitting in Denmark?
बाहर आ रहा था, बाहर आ रहा था.
Mr. Praladka, that's to you.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Yes.
My question to you is it true the CBI went all over the world looking for Kim Devi when there was clear evidence that he's sitting in Denmark?
Right. I tell you, Arnab, I chanced to meet Peter Bleach in 1998 in jail, and then I was the first person to examine the charge sheet and all the documents, 10,000 documents based on this charge sheet was based on the documents.
I can't hear a thing.
And I was the first person, and that was the turning
It's
point.
like cutting
When I
up
examined
and
the charge
breaking
sheet, I found that it was a case of total cover-up operation by the CBI, start from the GG inquiry up to the sanction for project.
Why did you not then say don't file the charge sheet?
One
Why
minute,
did you not say this thing here?
Mr. Joginder
Yes.
Singh, let him
Okay,
complete. I think the CBI is goofed
Yes.
up enough to be asked a few questions tonight.
It is not.
You have to be open to being asked a few questions tonight, Mr. Joginder Singh. I'll
Yes.
come to you.
No,
Certainly,
Mr.
sir.
Praladka, please come.
Mr. Joginder Singh, don't get excited, don't say anything in a hurry. I know how to deal with the police officers and CBI officers, and I have dealt with them. So let me say something. You may not be aware of all this. So when I examined the charge sheet filed by the CBI, examined all the documents, I found that the court was concerned with the materials on record before the court, whether the materials on record are sufficient for prosecution of these 5 Latvians and Peter Bleach. Nothing more than that. Court was not concerned with who was the recipient or nothing. Then when I examined, it was clear that it was a total cover operation by the CBI, and it starts from the GJ inquiry up to the sanction for prosecution for a serious offence under section 121 for waging over, all were fabricated documents, inadmissible.
Okay.
And then I started filing petition in the session court. I filed 16 petitions, counter cases against the CBI officers, CID officers, and police officers under section 340 of the CRPC for their prosecution for filing false documents, and the court admitted that. Court admitted that all the documents are false and fabricated and issued the shockwave notices. And what is the shocking? Today I am happy with the Danish High Court judgment that it was a perfect and the correct judgment that there cannot be a fair trial in Calcutta court. I'm telling about the Calcutta court, not any other court in India.
Okay.
And he cannot get a fair treatment in Calcutta because the trial judge, what is the more serious part of this case, the trial judge on the one hand in 1999 issued shockwave notices on the 16 petitions filed by me to CBI officers start from Loknath Bera up to the sub-inspector, and on the basis why they
Now I have a few questions for you,
why
Kim.
they should not be prosecuted.
One minute.
But on the
One minute, Mr. Praladka.
Yes.
There is without doubt
yes.
the CBI has treated this whole case like a joke. Before I come to you, Mr. U.S.
Right.
Mishra, just coming to you, sir. Kim Devi. The CBI says the initial stage of this operation was planned in the house of a man called Peter Heistrup. A man named Brian Thume was also present at a meeting. Tonight, please tell me and tell everybody across India, who are these two men? Who are their mentors? Who are the main political conspirators behind the plot?
I'm having a bit difficult.
Can you
it's
hear
a bit
me?
difficult to hear you now. But if I heard you right, you were asking about the 2 Danes that were also involved,
That's
Peter
right.
Heistrup and Brian Thume. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, in 1999, the CBI came to Copenhagen, struck a deal with the Danish government where they agreed that they would not pursue those 2 people. They were requested by the Danish government not to pursue them, and the CBI agreed. That's why they have not been pursued since. There is a document in the extradition case that proves this, where a deal was struck. So that's why nothing has been done regarding those 2 people.
Mr. Mishra, was in your information a deal struck? Is it in the national interest to strike a deal of this sort, to cover up such a major security breach?
You see, I
cannot
can't
hear you.
say
No,
whether a
please
deal
try
was
again.
struck or not. But I have dealt this case for 4 years. from 2002 to 2005. Today you are saying why for 16 years nothing has been done. There is a point here, because the Danish people, unless they have not committed the offense against a Danish person, was not extradited. After 2002, when they signed this UN convention after 9/11, then the extradition of Kim Devi took a serious turn. 2005, when I was director of CBI, you know, they gave 13 conditions to be fulfilled for its extradition. Do you know, it is for everybody's information. Government of India and CBI agreed to almost all. What are too important of that? That we will not give death penalty. And number two, if he is convicted in our court, the imprisonment he will have in Denmark. That is given in writing. Everything has been given in writing.
No, what?
And this, and you are saying today there is some allegation, case has been not investigated properly.
Yes.
How then there was a life conviction?
No, the answer
life
to the question.
conviction
No,
of
I have a specific
Peter
question for
Bleach
you.
and
Sir,
those people.
Sir, no.
And he avoided throughout. And this Interpol notice, the RCO was issued. It was he was in Denmark. We knew it. I had sent a team there also, but that time they were not serious, they were not extradited. After 2002, the process started. And you are believing one man, you are not believing Danish government. See the judgment, please.
Sir, I'm
the
asking
judgment
you,
says, nobody has read the judgment.
Sir,
judgment merely
one
says
minute.
only one thing, that jails in India have inhuman treatment,
yes,
degrading behavior.
Yes.
It has not commented on CBI prosecution.
How does that matter?
Commended.
No, 1 minute.
It has commended.
Mr.
It has
Mishra.
stated
Mr.
that
Mishra.
all this,
Mr.
all
Mishra, let me come in.
information which has
Mr.
been
Mishra,
asked,
let me come in.
Government of India and CBI has
Mr.
agreed
Mishra.
too.
Mr. Mishra, 1 minute. Let me come in. Please hear me. I have two questions for you. Please answer my question specifically. Don't avoid the question.
Feed it into your phone and then I can have it.
Kim Devi got away because Kim Devi says prisons in India are inhuman. The CBI is giving itself a clean chit by saying prison conditions are outside its purview. But wasn't the CBI supposed to aid the prosecution in proving that Devi will be safe in an Indian prison? That was not done. That's point number one. And point number two, you were CBI director. Allow me 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Why wasn't Peter Heistrup pursued more actively given the fact that the CBI considers him a mastermind? Why was he not pursued? Please answer, sir. We want to know today. Why was he not pursued? Why did you strike a deal?
CBI, I told you we have pursued throughout. But see the judgment. Nobody is reading the judgment. I have seen the judgment. Judgment says that they have agreed to everything. And only bottleneck is it is not a comment on CBI, it is a comment and to the whole nation that our jail system, there is inhuman treatment, and it has its repercussions also in the European countries now.
Sir, I'm sorry.
This is a bad precedent which has been set.
Sir, I'm sorry to say this, but
and this is a slur on the Indian system,
then
not on CBI. Please read the judgment.
If it is a slur, then you should have countered that slur. If Kim Devi is totally wrong, that Indian prisons are not safe and there are going to be human rights violations, you should have countered it. It's not a question of whether the CBI was criticized. The fact is that India has been insulted.
No investigating officer goes for extradition request with a 5-star accommodation when he will be here. No investigation does that.
So you
that
go
will assure you a 5-star hotel accommodation.
So Arnab, I wish to say something here.
1 minute. Yes, okay, Uday,
Arnab, it has to be borne in mind that when at the appeal stage, Peter Bleach gave evidence about the inhuman treatment he was put through, and often at the hands of the CBI's own interrogation officers, there was no move
CBI officials
by the CBI officials and the CBI lawyer present in the court to cross-question him. Peter Bleach was very surprised that the prosecution did not even cross-question him, and the next morning he stayed back and delayed his departure from Copenhagen. But the CBI made no effort to produce him in court the next day and give the opposing point of view. So it's not fiction that the CBI winked at all this so that the case was lost.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that if Kim Devi
Can I answer
returned to
this?
India,
1 minute,
was made to come to
I have-
India to
I have-
face the trial,
No,
a lot of people would have been forced to leave the country. Because this was an operation planned at the very top, and very powerful people were involved, and they would have loved to keep him away, because let us not forget that the CBI didn't prosecute this man on its own traction. The traction came from Delhi High Court thanks to Deepak Prahaladka's writ petition.
Well, I have a simple
CBI
question.
would have allowed him to stay.
I have a simple question here. Simple question
You
here.
got me?
Mr. Mishra, you got very worked up defending the CBI. Mr. Ranade, my question to you is, and Mr. Joginder Singh, I'll come to you after Mr. Ranade.